Hey, real quick, guys, I just wanted to follow up with a second video today. And there was a story about the Olympics. There's actually two stories. I'll cover the one that the first transgender athlete from male to female is going to be competing in the Tokyo Olympics for New Zealand as a super heavyweight weightlifter. So I do want to cover that. I'm going to go over to my screen and show you that to you. There was also an athlete who threatened, a U.S. athlete, I believe, who threatened to burn the U.S. flag in protest of the whole transgender athlete thing in the Olympics. Anyways, let's go over to the story about the New Zealand weightlifter, and you guys can leave comments down below. It's a really interesting story, so do check it out to the end. All right, so this story coming to us from The Guardian. It's on many other websites, of course, but New Zealand's weightlifter Laurel Hubbard will be the first trans athlete to compete at the Olympics as a part of the weightlifting team, and it's a 43-year-old New Zealander. The New Zealand weightlifter Laurel Hubbard is poised to make history and headlines as well as significant controversy after being confirmed as the first transgender athlete to compete at the Olympic Games. The 43-year-old, who will be the fourth oldest weightlifter at the Olympics, is regarded as a genuine medal contender in the women's super heavyweight 87 kilogram plus category in Tokyo. While her inclusion has been welcomed by trans groups, it's also been questioned by those who believe she has an unfair advantage in strength and power, having gone through male puberty before transitioning in 2012. So it's been 9 years. She transitioned at, was she 43? So 34 years old, something around mid-30s transitioned. Speaking after her selection was announced, Hubbard, who won silver at the 2017 Women's World Championship, said she was delighted to make the Olympics after recovering from a serious arm injury at the 2018 Commonwealth Games. I'm grateful and humbled by the kindness and support that's been given to me by so many New Zealanders. When I broke my arm at the Commonwealth Games 3 years ago, I was advised that my sporting career had likely reached its end, but your support, encouragement, and aroha, which they put as affection, carried me through the darkness. Must be a New Zealand word. Hubbard's selection has already sharply divided opinion, with some noting that it was meant that the 21-year-old Tongan weightlifter Kuinini Manumua, butchered that name, I'm sure, who would have otherwise qualified, has missed out on the Olympics. Hubbard, who lived as a male for 35 years, 35 years, did not compete in international weightlifting until transitioning. Since then, however, she has won several elite titles. Her inclusion in Tokyo is partly down to changes to the International Olympic Committee transgender guidelines in 2015, under which athletes who transition from male to female can compete in the women's category without requiring surgery to remove their testes, provided their total testosterone level in serum is kept below 10 nanomoles per liter for at least 12 months. So they're going off of testosterone levels being low. Now, this means that she has not had surgery to remove her male parts. However, the IOC's decision has recently come under fire after scientific papers were published, which said that people who have undergone male puberty retain significant advantages, including power and strength, even after taking medication to suppress their testosterone levels. Last year, the scientists Emma Hilton and Tommy Lundberg found that the male performance advantage in weightlifting was 30% when compared to women. Their research indicated that even transgender women suppressed testosterone for 12 months. The loss of lean body mass, muscle area, and strength was only around 5%. However, the New Zealand Olympic Committee Chief Executive Kieran Smith said it was right for Hubbard to be selected, having met the IOC eligibility criteria, although she also recognized the debate between fairness and inclusion was a difficult one. We acknowledge that gender identity in sport is a highly sensitive and complex issue requiring a balance between human rights and fairness on the field of play. Some of Hubbard's rivals, including the Belgian super heavyweight weightlifter Anna Van Bellingen, have previously claimed she will have an unfair advantage. Van Bellingen stressed she fully supports the transgender community and that her comments were not a personal criticism. Anyone that is trained in weightlifting at a high level knows this to be true in their bones. This particular situation is unfair to the sport and to the athletes. In a statement, the IOC said its guidance was under review and was being informed by new developments, data research, and learnings in the scientific and human rights sector. The women's advocacy group, Fair Play for Women, said the latest science showed the IOC's policy was no longer fit for purpose. The IOC stated in the 2015 transgender guidelines that the overriding sporting objective is and remains the guarantee of fair competition. But its current rules are blatantly unfair to women and to transgender women who both want to play by rules which are fair to everybody. So there is the story. This is Laurel Hubbard, New Zealand's super heavyweight weightlifting Olympic team in Tokyo. What do you think? Use the comments below. Is it fair that she's being allowed to compete with the women after being a male for 35 years and then not having surgery and just suppressing her testosterone? Why or why not? What do you think? Let's hear it in the comments section. I'm sure there's a few people that'll be able to chime in on this. People are going to ask me my opinion. Look, this isn't my area of expertise. I don't know anything about, transitioning or testosterone or science or health. I'm not a health and anatomy expert. I wouldn't even begin to try to dissect this into anything more than what you see right here. Do I believe she has an advantage, strength, power? If the science says she does, and our common sense tells us that even with her testosterone suppressing medicines, that it's potentially still an advantage for her. Can we prove it? Yes or no? Maybe. We don't know. If it can be proven, then yeah, it's probably not fair. But if we can't prove it, then we can only go off of what science recommends. And the problem is you're going to have 3 scientists who say it's fair and 3 scientists who say it's not fair, just like we had with masks and COVID. 3 scientists said that masks work and 3 say it doesn't work. We're never going to convince anybody of our viewpoint on anything. So believe what you want to believe. All for the transgender community, 100% support them, whatever they choose to do, however they choose to do it. Awesome. Nothing but love. But when it comes to sports, especially something like weightlifting, there's going to be great debate. So I'm just going to leave it there, and I'll wait to hear what you guys have to say down in the comment section below. I can't wait to hear it, and I appreciate you watching as always. Hit that thumbs up button, like the video, and make sure you're subscribed, because I'm going to be pumping out a lot more videos covering everything you need to know in our world. It's why it's called New World News, guys. Thank you so much as always, and I will see you next time.